this never gonna get better? Is this never gonna stop? That's the biggest emotional part of it, and you just don't feel like a person. You feel like something less than, like I used to sleep on the blue line, and I was looking around at people like, you know, they're better than I am because they have somewhere to live, they have a job, they have a life, they have a family.
My mom was a drug addict. My dad was in and out of our lives. My mom would disappear for days.
Each year, there are over 14,000 youth in Chicago without a home, many of them living on the streets, searching for a place to be. To find out who they are and how faith communities are reaching out to them, let's welcome Rabbi Menachem Cohen and Reverend William Kyle, who are part of the Night Ministries Youth Outreach Team. Thank you both for being here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Menachem, could you please tell us about the Night Ministry?
Well, the Night Ministry was founded 35 years ago in the Lakeview neighborhood of Chicago, which for some reason has been a destination for homeless youth from across the country for 40 years. And it was started because the churches and synagogues in the neighborhood saw there was a need in the evening and when the other agencies would be closed. So we started that way. Our youth outreach team has been together for 4 months now since William joined, but we've been on the same street corner for 11 years at Belmont and Halsted.
What exactly do you do on your foot ministry?
Well, I have an opportunity to try and create a presence. This program and this site has been in existence for over 12 years in this one area. And how they operate is something that it is not on what you do as well as who you or who you be. It's the presence that you have, and if you can establish a presence, and that presence comes from just asking questions, little questions, for trying to get to know people's names, but you're not doing anything much more than establishing a presence, which eventually will bring trust, and then hopefully trust will give you the opportunity to help find out what their needs are, and you can maybe refer and get them to help themselves.
Can you tell us about some of the youth you've met or some of the stories that have really touched your lives?
I was just thinking now, before you asked, about one young man who, tough guy, claimed gang affiliation, hard life, you know, estranged from his family. And for about a year, I would see him, and I would just say, hey, how you doing? And he'd say, you know, I'm doing okay. And we'd talk maybe about skateboarding or something that he was into. And then one day when I saw him, I said, hey, how you doing? He said, man, I got to change my life. So it was a year of just being there with this ministry of presence that we have, and him knowing that we were trustworthy and that we were people that wouldn't judge him or impose our agenda on him. He knew he could trust me, and so that one day we sat down for 45 minutes and talked about resources, and I made referrals and helped him make some improvements in his life.
Do you see any special concerns for people in Lakeview or Rogers Park in particular?
Something like 43% of youth nationwide who are homeless cite that their being gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender was a contributing factor to their homelessness. Our location is right by Boys Town, so a lot of youth come to that neighborhood because it's safe to be out or to explore there. Maybe 70 or 80% of our youth claim they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. So that's a huge consideration. Also, they just want some food and a place to stay, but maybe most importantly, they want someone to talk to, and that's what we do.
How are the faith communities responding to the needs of the homeless youth along with Night Ministries?
In many contributing ways. Without the partnerships that are established with the churches, the synagogues, and the faith establishments, it would be very difficult to maintain Night Ministries. And they've been here from the beginning of the whole Night Ministries program. The churches, they participate by supplying the food that feed the youth on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and they are there rain, sleet, or snow. They're out there braving some of the one of the coldest nights we had this year. They were out there like champs, and it was very impressive for me to see this. And these are people in synagogues, churches, different cultures, and it's really good. And I think it's good for our youth to see such diversity of faith establishments coming so freely and giving so graciously.
We go on the streets with our van Tuesday and Thursday nights at Belmont and Halsted, also in Rogers Park on Wednesday nights. And we have food, hygiene supplies, safe sex supplies. And the church and the synagogues come out, they make the food, they stand there with us all year round. And that's where we do some crisis intervention, and we do some referrals. And also it's like church social hour or a block party. The music gets going, the voguing gets going on, people are, playing, they're sparring in the parking lot, it's social time.
It's wonderful. Some people see youth, or homeless youth, as just criminals, rebellious kids who don't deserve to have a hand extended to them. How do you respond to that?
We don't judge.
Don't judge.
And unfortunately, that's a fact. Even in this area where youth who are homeless and youth who are seeking safe refuges where they can be themselves, up in Lakeview, they're finding themselves running into some of the same thought patterns that people are having, and they are being looked upon in some ways that aren't the most positive. And that's where, again, but the thing that's very exciting about being a part of Night Ministry is that you're running into other organizations who are doing what they can to see to it that young people have a safe environment and that they are actually are being cared for.
What are all the ways, just as a recap, that you reach out?
We have 3 programs in Night Ministry. Essentially, we have their shelter program, we have an emergency shelter, we have a transitional living program, and a shelter for pregnant and parenting young women. We also have the Outreach and Health Ministries bus. This goes around 6 nights a week with food and a nurse. And then we have the youth outreach team operating in Lakeview. And we have several ways which we help. We're on the street. We partner at the Broadway Youth Center, which is kind of a one-stop shopping for needs of homeless youth. We also are on the street now in Rogers Park. And we have some other projects we do. We have an outdoor adventure club, and we have Project Wednesdays that William is part of.
Yeah, Project Wednesdays is a day that we, at Night Ministries, we took over the feeding project from the Broadway Youth Center, another area where youth have their needs met. And in the midst of doing that, we decided to try to spice things up a little bit more beyond just having a meal. And we're partnering with other organizations. For example, the About Face Theater company. They come in and they have a 7-week course where we're doing a little drama, and hopefully we can have a little bit of a presentation or skits and things we can do at the end of that. And we're having people come in to teach crafts, and we're trying to work on having a whole year agenda to fill those Wednesdays with some courses that run about 4 to 6 weeks at a time.
Thank you, Menachem and William. I'm Tamara Love for Different Drummers. Keep the faith.